Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Future State video, where I say words and you, the beautiful people, listen. It is I, your crazy Nicolas Cage, your steward of Gondor, your genius, billionaire playboy, basic YouTuber philanthropist, SuperCliff. And would you kindly hit that like and subscribe button for every little bit helps in this majestic YouTube world. And today, we are covering Future State, Superman, House of El, issue number 1, written by the upcoming magnificent Philip Kennedy Johnson and drawn by Scott Godlitsky. I think I got that right. It sounds right. Let's do this. And away we go. As our epic story begins in the 30th century on Earth's moon at the Fortress of Sanctuary, a period in time where Kal-El, Superman, is considered as nothing more than a myth, basically a Jesus Christ figure of sorts. And ever since Superman's departure into the vast DC universe, things have gone pretty crappy, as if that burning Superman flag wasn't a clue. Diversion: if by chance you are walking down the street and you see a Superman flag burning, run. Because as we can see, those among the House of El are shown battling a vast horde of parademons from the planet of Apocalypse. Ooh. Inside the fortress, we check in with Brainiac 4, who's working on his computers, whilst the remaining members of House El rush inside with their wounded. Whilst the Medroids are patching up those who are wounded, Brandon Kent checks in with his daughter, Theand'r, making sure she isn't hurt. But Brandon Kent doesn't understand that his daughter is no longer a little girl. She's a badass warrior. Not to mention that she looks a lot like Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn. But you know what? I digress. Meanwhile, Ronan demands a status report from both Kal-El and Allura regarding the war zones and how they're holding up. Kal-El informs Ronan that they have suffered 15% casualties and currently, at the moment, extremely exhausted. However, they'll never admit it. Allura says that the War World engines are at 74% and that the Valkyries are standing by. In addition, 62 Tamaranean warriors remain able-bodied, and if they need to, they can call upon an additional 20 with no complaints. Brainiac 4 chimes in, saying that their robots are operating at only 58% and that their Omni-Turrets are at 36%. However, the Red King and his forces have begun targeting their support units, and because so, their forces won't be able to defend against a second wave. But Ronan is quick to counter, telling Brainiac that they have faced worse odds before. Afterwards, Rowan Kent, aka Blue Lantern, Ronan's sister, lands inside the Fortress of Sanctuary. After reuniting with her brother, Blue Lantern tells Ronan that the coalition of the Lanterns has failed, and that the Red King's armada is on its way, and on top of that, the Red King himself is with them. So basically the House of El is screwed. But wait, there's more, because Brainiac 4 reveals that instead of devoting his energies towards locating reinforcements, instead he's been working on the defense systems, as Brainiac 4 claims that there is no one else out there who will come to their aid. Yet, why does Brainiac 4 have all those star maps out for? Mystery! Suddenly, the Fortress of Sanctuary alarms start going off, as the next wave of baddies are approaching the dome. And it's here where the House of El suits up for round 2. Against the Red King's forces, and things get freaky as parademons release a Promethean giant against the forces of El. And sadly for our heroes, this Promethean giant is kicking all sorts of butt, and whilst the battle rages, Theand'r calls dibs on the Promethean giant, but unbeknownst to the young warrior, a pair of parademons are prepping their own war machine to take her out. However, Brandon Kent sees this, thereby sacrifices himself in order to save his daughter. As a result, this causes Theand'r to pull what every single PlayStation female daughter protagonist does when their father or father figure dies. Or simply put, like any daughter would react of that matter. I just really want to reference PlayStation, by the way. And I did. And so, Theand'r takes out the Promethean giant with style. Meanwhile, inside the fortress, as we see Brainiac 4 continue his work on powering the defenses, Brainiac manages to locate a life form that is heading towards their location. And with that, there's hope. Brainiac makes his way out of the fortress to inform Allura that he's found hope, but suddenly he's taken out in a flash, as it's revealed that the Black Racer has killed Brainiac 4. Once Black Racer makes her getaway, our heroes immediately converge on Brainiac's position. But as our heroes mourn the loss of their friend, Brainiac 4's body is suddenly taken over by the Red King himself, and the Red King basically taunts our heroes, saying that Brainiac 4 died due to his hubris, that being Superman. And in truth, there is no hope, for the United Planets has fallen, and soon will the House of El. Therefore, at dawn, the Fortress of Sanctuary will cease to exist. However, no one cares for the Red King's threats, as everyone, from the people of Warworld Prime, the Warworld Engines, the Tamaranean Honor Guard, and those from planet Earth, have all declared their loyalties to the House of El. And with that, Brainiac 4's remains burn into mere crisp. Later that night, before dawn, While Ronan is attempting to comfort Theand'r, she tells him about the stories Papa used to tell her about their family. And as she grew older, her mother eventually told Theand'r that some of those stories were actually made up. And ever since, Theand'r has wondered on whether or not Kal-El was actually real to begin with. But regardless, whether or not there was a real Krypton, a belief system towards the idea of truth and justice, those who are now fighting for the House of El believe those stories. And in the end, they will be fighting and dying for that idea, in which the House of El stands for. The following morning, once everyone within the Fortress of Sanctuary is finished prepping the defenses, the Red King's forces are shown across the distance, a force that is compiled of hundreds of Doomsday clones. However, our heroes charge, nonetheless, for truth and justice. And from there, an epic clash ensues. Eventually, the Black Racer joins the fight, taking out several of the defenders in the process. But luckily, before she can head for the Sanctuary itself, Allura catches the Black Racer with her hook, causing the villain to trip and crash, as Allura informs her that not even gods can outrun their sins. R.I.P. Brainiac 4! What's up? Tough guy here. That's me. Elsewhere in the battle, Ronan is getting pounded by one of the Doomsday clones, but unfortunately for this Doomsday, he is crushed by one of the Red King's ships, which was taken down by Kal-El. But sadly, before our heroes can celebrate, Kal-El is taken out of the fight by a laser blast. And it's here where we see the Red King himself, his real name being Phyrus, entering the fray himself. Both Allura and Blue Lantern attack Phyrus, whilst viewing the villain as a traitor, for he was once a part of the House of El. But this only enrages Phyrus. However, Phyrus mentions that he is the son of Kal-El, and not some far-flung descendant like the rest of them. Therefore, those among the House of El stand little chance of defeating the Red King. And as the battle rages, with everyone seemingly near their respected ends, the Man of Steel himself, the Man of Tomorrow, Metropolis's beacon of hope, Kal-El Superman, has finally arrived to help defeat the forces of injustice. Phyrus recalls that his mother once told him that he would one day return. However, Superman assures his son that his mother, Cersei, gives Kal-El too much credit, as it was Brainiac 4 from earlier who helped Superman to find his way back home. Phyrus then immediately attacks Superman, claiming that Mother also said that he would be the one to kill Superman. However, Superman catches his son's punch, telling the Red King that he's wrong, and that his mother was wrong about her son the most. For Phyrus was born out of magic and deception, a product intended by the Cersei to end the House of El. Whereas Kal-El has much higher hopes for his son, as he smacks him backwards. Superman then tells Phyrus that his mother sent him on a path which took him away from his father. But now that Superman is here, the two need each other. As Superman tells his son that where he's been, the dimension where Cersei trapped him in, is in terrible danger. Therefore, that dimension needs their own Superman. And so, Superman asks his son to come with him, so that he can help Phyrus to become the man he dreamt him of being. And it's with that where Superman's words affect his son's anger, resulting in their alliance. But before Superman and his son take off, a disbelief Theand'r demands if Superman is that Kal-El that she's heard about all throughout her life. Superman responds by telling everyone that he's extremely proud of them, telling Theand'r on the side that Brandon would have felt the same as well. And as both Superman and Phyrus take flight, Superman promises that he will return. But until then, the story of what happened here is for Theand'r to tell, a story that can be used to give the people hope. Future State Superman House of El issue number 1 was an awesome issue, which not only makes me appreciate Philip Kennedy Johnson's writing talent, but it also manages to ease my mind. As it's clear from his work done in Future State Superman World of Worlds and this Future State one-shot House of El, Philip Kennedy Johnson is the perfect individual to take over the Superman titles for Infinite Frontier. The thing about Superman is the fact that he represents hope, that no matter the odds, there's always a spark of light that can ward off an overwhelming darkness. And so seeing that frame of mind displayed across the many members of House of El was quite satisfying. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing the heroes compiled of not just members who are future descendants of Kal-El, but those among various races, such as the Tamaraneans and the Warzoons. The Red King himself was a great concept. I like the fact that he's the son of Superman and Wonder Woman's baddie, Cersei. I thought it was a neat twist. An evil Superman, but with magic. The Red King's look was also done quite nicely. It isn't all over the place, it's very simple. And in addition, this entire book is both well drawn and well colored, so props to Scott Golitsky. Good job. Overall, Future State Superman House of El manages to successfully present a great story with a bunch of characters whom are being presented in a hopeless situation. Yet the belief of hope and the ability to push forward is what saves them in the end. Ladies and gentlemen, Future State Superman House of El issue number 1 gets a 9.5 out of 10. Giggity goo.